I have a confession to make. I am an email hoarder. Hoarder. Apologies for my appearance. I'm on vacation and I've been reading a book. I just got done with Cal Newport's book, Slow Productivity. I listened to a podcast by Dan Martell, and he was being interviewed on modern wisdom. He was talking about how, as an entrepreneur and business owner, you can't do it all. You can't be expected to do it all. And one of the things that really hit me that just sort of was already kind of bubbling around in my head was the fact that I'm overwhelmed. I have too many things that are just grabbing at me on a daily basis, whether it be Slack, whether it be text messages, whether it be, people trying to reach me by phone, voicemail, but especially my email. And so I was listening to this podcast this morning on the way over to Starbucks, and the guy's like, look, I just don't do email, right? I have actually turned most of my email over to my virtual assistant. And I'm like, oh my God, that'd be great. And he was talking about how you can delegate access to it. I did not know that. I should know that, but I didn't. And how you can organize information so that you only see the things that really, really require your attention, and everything else is noise. And that noise is you're allowing other people to control your time and your focus and your attention. And this is not new stuff. My friend Mara Thomas talks about this all the time in her work, that we are set ourselves up to be too available, to make ourselves too accessible. And I hear it. The logic is there. But the thing that has always been, that could be an important contact. That could be an important email. That could be a speaker opportunity. That could be, a consulting or training opportunity. There are ways that you can funnel those opportunities so that you don't miss them, that you still have the opportunity to return the important messages, but you're not beholden. And so he's, one of the things he recommended is just look at the sheer volume of crap that you're getting in your inbox. And your inbox actually is someone else demanding your attention and putting control on your time and your focus. And the more I looked at it, the more it became obvious. Let me just show you here. I've been in delete mode all day. I had labels and organizations, and I had these great plans for how I wanted to store stuff. And I realized, I haven't gone back to look at any of this crap. So I started going through and getting rid of my labels, number one. Number two, I started looking at just the sheer volume of shit that I deal with on a daily basis. And look at this. This is how do you stay organized when you have 723 inbox, and that's my main inbox. Those are emails demanding somebody else putting into my stuff. And then Gmail does a pretty good job of breaking out things that it knows that are updates from like services that you've signed up for, newsletters, etc. But then there's just this, promotions, right? I have 9,000 updates and 8,300 promotions. But if I go back to my inbox, I am dealing with in my inbox over 10,000 emails here. 10,000 emails that are there just sitting in this little inbox. Now, 723 of them happen to be brand new, but oh my God. And every time I look at this stuff, it gives me anxiety, and I hate it, and it frustrates me. And this is just one account of 3 that I do. And I'm realizing that I am making myself far too accessible to everybody else. This is just one thing that drags my time and my focus away from what I do best, which is creativity, building, developing new strategies and ideas, coming up with unique perspectives. When I have that much email just sitting there, just chomping at me all the time, it's no wonder I feel burned out. It's no wonder I feel like I don't have any control. And what was kind of funny is that I approached one of my VAs today about, hey, what do you think about taking that over? She was like automatically, hey, look, I know my lane. I'm not dealing with that. No way. And I have to respect that. But going back to this podcast that I listened to this morning is that there are only a certain number of things that actually have to roll up to an entrepreneur for that attention. Everything else is just noise. And if you can find an avenue either to delete or remove the noise from your life, that's the number one thing. But if you can't, which I can't, unfortunately, then you can find someone to deal with it. So I'm on the hunt to figure that out and to see if I can have somebody come in and say, hey, look, I only want to know if an email is important, and I am thinking about completely taking email off my phone. I'm thinking about ways that I can just start focusing on the important stuff and eliminating any and all distractions and just see where that goes. So stay tuned. But right now, this is both scary and empowering, but also it's so necessary. It's time. It's time, Steve. And I think vacation and realizing I want to come back and do things differently means I got to do things differently. I can't just talk about it. I've actually got to do it. So starting today, we'll see how it goes. I'll report back. There's a fair amount of anxiety and a little bit of angina that's generating in my system right now, but I just got to go for it, right? I just got to do it because it is absolutely out of control and insane. What about you? You run into this? You struggle with this? How have you dealt with it? I want to know. And if you happen to know a good VA that will manage and be that funnel and that filter for your email, I'd like to know them as well. So this is not an advertisement to get tons of VAs to reach out to me, especially via LinkedIn or email. Please, God. You guys have a great day, and as always, ripple on.